Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio, coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios, and we are pleased as punch to be joined by the running back for the Dallas Cowboys. He's Tony Pollard. Tony, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. How's your foot?
My foot's good.
Yeah?
My foot's good. Ready to go.
All healed up?
All healed up.
Oh, what is it like to be a Cowboy from this standpoint, right? Somehow we've gotten to this place where probably more than half the country cheers for, expects you to, celebrates your last defeat whenever it is in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like from a Cowboys perspective?
As a Cowboy, you have to be a true professional, and you have to be able to, block a lot of the noise out, block a lot of the talk out, the rumors, everything. You have to block it out and just lock in and focus on the task at hand and what your job is, and that's really the best way to be a Dallas Cowboy, because if not, you'll get lost in all the media and all the attention, and then
but it is different than anybody else.
Very different,
right? I mean, every team except for whoever wins Sunday loses their last game. But when the Cowboys lose, and look, I'm admitted, I get into it too. You're like, for some reason, is it the Cowboy fans? Is it Jerry? Is it the star? Like, what is it that makes people actually root for your guys' downfall?
It's the star. It comes with having that star on your helmet, being a Dallas Cowboy, being America's team, so everybody's cheering for you, but it's either they love you or they hate you once you're a Cowboy. It's no in between.
There is definitely no in between. I want to ask you real quick about the Q collar.
Mm-hmm.
What does that thing do?
Yeah, I've been partnered with Q Collar for about 2 years now, and it's basically just me prioritizing my brain health, and any way that I could increase the longevity of my career. I was all for it. It just sends a small amount of blood to your brain to surround your brain and keeps it from moving as much on impact. So it's kind of like another layer of protection for your brain.
So if you worn it, you wore it practice too?
In the games.
You only wore it?
Only when I'm contacting, making hits and things like that.
So do you notice a difference?
Night and day. Just in being in the games, playing before I got in touch with Q Collar, taking a big hit or something like that, and then you get up, you have that little ringing feeling in your head, but eventually it goes away. But since I've been with Q Collar and been wearing them every game, you don't have that feeling anymore.
Okay, you got your franchise tag deal last year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's this offseason look like for you?
Grinding. There's going to be a lot of grinding, especially since I don't have to, worry about
rehabbing
trying
like
to get back to square one, so I can actually get better and progress my game. So I feel like it's only going to go up, but it's kind of early to tell right now in free agency, since the season is technically still going on. So I feel like after the Super Bowl and free agency gets going, then we'll have a clear picture.
If I was to give you a percentage chance that you're a Dallas Cowboy next year, what would the percentage chance be?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I mean, they didn't say Jerry didn't call you. Tony, I can't. I can do a pretty good Jerry, but I can't do it right now for whatever reason.
I mean, we talked. We had our exit meetings. Yeah. Everything sounded good. Sounded like I'll be back, but you never know.
You never know.
It's a business.
You don't want to give it a percentage chance?
No.
Because they can franchise you again, right?
Yeah, they could.
They can franchise you again. Why are guys so against the franchise tag? Because for you last year, it's like $10 million guaranteed. Yeah. Granted, is it because there's no long term?
It's the sport that we play. Nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. We can go out there one play and it can be the last time we ever play again. We can go out there, it can be a practice. You can take a hit and be paralyzed and never be able to walk again, those type things. You have to keep that in perspective and just that anytime you can get that security long term,
sure.
That's the goal.
Well, there was obviously along your deal, there were other deals as well. A bunch of running backs up contract-wise and a lot of discussion in the offseason. Do you guys have like a group text? Like all the star running backs, you guys like on a group text? Like, man, we all got to get our money?
Yeah, it was one point in the season we had a group text going on.
Really?
We did, yeah.
And did you have those numbers saved, or who dis? Did you know whose numbers they were when you popped up on it?
It was just Instagram, DMing each other.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Tony Pollard joining us here on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. Want to ask you about the Niners because you've seen them up close even last year when you got hurt, and of course this year. It does feel like since that game where they destroyed you guys, like the Ravens game kind of exposed something. They haven't been the same since they got their ass whooped by the Ravens, right? And people are running on them a bunch. What is it about their deep? Why can you run on them? And what's the weakness to that defense?
I'm not sure what it is that they're doing. Honestly, I haven't been locked into the game since we've been put out. I hadn't watched football. So
I heard that. Like you didn't know Dan Quinn got
no idea.
So you shut off your phone. You're just I'm chilling. I'm away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mental thing you do every year or just this year?
This year.
Why? What led you to do that?
Just trying to protect my mental. Keep everything positive. Not letting too much of the noise get to you.
So how do you do that though? Like the rest of us are all addicted to NFL news and our phones. How do you do it?
You don't realize it until you do it. That like you really could do a lot of other things than be on your phone. It definitely makes you be more present in the moment, wherever you are, wherever your feet are. You're in that moment. You're not worried about what you're gonna do after you leave here or who you about to see or any of that. It's you actually in the present. So
like, tell me something you do that you wouldn't do if you were on your phone worrying about stuff going on at work. I don't know. I feel like it mentally takes away from being in the moment, and so social media is not real life. It's social media. Yeah. So are you gonna watch the game Sunday?
Yeah, I watched.
Okay. Home or go to a party?
Home.
By yourself or with people over?
I might have a couple people over, but it'll be a chill thing.
Now, when you watch a game, what's that like? Like, because it's so different your perspective. Like, can you watch the game as a fan, or are you sitting there and your brain is working on overdrive on things?
I definitely can watch the game as a fan. This year it was hard with the way that we lost. I feel like we were a much better team than what we displayed in our last game, and for us to go out like that, it was just tough. And I felt like we could be one of those teams playing today.
No question. I think that's probably that was the most surprising game of the playoffs. You're down big at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
What was that locker room like?
Honestly, we knew we had to fight. We knew we could come back. It was too little, too late, almost at that point.
Yeah, it was. And you guys finally started scoring, but they kept scoring as well, and they just had too much momentum. Again, it's called Q Collar from Q30 Innovations. Q Collar from Q30 Innovations, and you check these things out. And can high school kids wear these things?
Yes, indeed. High school kids can wear them. Middle school.
That's awesome. Well, Tony, listen, we can't wait to see where you're playing next year. I think it's very likely to have a star on the side of your helmet, but we'll say, as you said, it's a business. We'll never know. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.